In this video I'm going to show you how you create a carousel presentation in PowerPoint. So what's really good about presentation is that it's not just for putting something on a board or projecting something onto a screen and you talking for an hour in front of a load of text. What's really useful is that you may have like a kiosk. So you may be that, I know I've done this in the past, you might have a parents' evening, or you might be selling something in the street and you've got like a little stall set up and you want a little presentation for people to read, really simple and easy, that just loops around continuously. Now, to do that, it's really, really simple. So first things first, you want to make sure that you don't have loads and loads of information on the screen at once, but you need to have enough, because there's not going to be a presenter there or shouldn't be a presenter there to really speak. So you need to have enough information on the slides, but it must be standalone, so you can't rely on something else unless you've got maybe a leaflet outside it. But it needs to be not continuous, so it shouldn't be right, you read this slide, then you read this slide and this slide. It should be able to pick it up at any point, because if you've got, say, 20 seconds between each slide and people are walking past, they need to be able to get enough information from one slide. That being said, you kind of linked slightly. You don't want it to be completely random each one and standalone, and you don't want to repeat loads of information. But say at a parents' evening, when we for people picking their options, we would have the course overview on one page. The next page says what we do on the course. So yes, you don't get the whole picture, but you can sit and look at one slide and go, right, yeah, I know exactly what's going on for the ICT course. Because it says on this previous slide that I haven't seen, it said about the course breakdown, but on this one it says, right, you will use Microsoft Word, you will use PowerPoint, things like that. So to do that, you need to make sure you create your slides however you want. And then what we do now is look at the slideshow first. So you've got things like using timings, media controls, subtitles, presenter view and whatnot. Now, obviously you need to make sure that you're not on presenter view. Now, if you don't know what presenter view is, if you press F5 on your keyboard, if it ever lets me, there we go. You can't really tell on this one because it's showing the presentation. Presenter view is for if you've got two monitors. So you'll have on another monitor, it'll have like a big black screen with a little picture of your presentation, and it says what's on the next slide and any comments you've got on there. So it's really important that we're not using presenter view, because that's not going to help. You may also have to change your slide size, if I can say it properly, so it fits on the screen. So if you've got like a really tall but thin monitor because on the side, you need to make sure your PowerPoint fits on that screen fine, otherwise it'll look a little bit daft. So to do this, we need to go to Setup Slideshow, and you've got three options. You've got Presented by a Speaker, so that's like normal. You've got Browse by an individual window, Browse by an individual, so that's like a windowed mode. And then you've got Browse at a kiosk, so that's what we're going to click. Although you can do it on this mode, but you need to tick Loop continuously until escape. By just go straight for kiosk, and then that ticks this box and it ticks this one. So that means it's going to use timings if you've got them. So I can press OK. Now we're going to look at transitions, and you can see you've got advanced slide, you've got a mouse click, which you don't want, or after a set time. So what's a good idea is to make sure you set in all of them to a set time. Okay? So you see there, I've got your keys clicked on mouse clicks. It's really important that you don't want any of these on mouse click. Okay? So now what should happen now is I should press F5, so that shows us the slideshow, and then after 5 seconds it should move on to the next slide. So it's gone to connection, 3, 4, 5, and it should go on to the next one, sensors, and it counts to 5, and it'll keep looping. So it should, as I'm talking, get back to the first slide. So that's really useful, so it means you don't have to touch it, you can just leave it on, provided your computer doesn't go on standby or something. You can just leave that running forever until you finish doing whatever you're doing. So that's really useful. Let's escape, get rid of that. To have that running whilst you're talking to clients or talking to customers, or it might even be that you've got them in a window of a shop and that's just looping and you're doing a different job. It saves you a lot of time. It really helps if you've got things like animations on it. A good thing that we have is like videos. So you've got a video watching, so you can watch the video, you've got some speakers set up, and then it moves on, tells you more information, and basically does your job for you. Now alternatively, you might want to do a more controlled presentation, which is led by a speaker. So usually you've got like a clicker or somebody pressing the mouse, but clicker's the best. And you manually advance those slides, so you don't have your timings like we just said then, we have it on a mouse click. So that's really good for setting the pace yourself. So say if I was doing a lesson and I'm teaching something and a student goes, oh, I don't understand that, instead of going, oh no, I've only got 2 seconds left, I can just not press the button and explain it again. Now, whereas the carousel style presentation, you want it to have as much information as possible, but without being overbearing and too much, you want a lot less text when there's a speaker there, because the whole point is when you do a presentation, you are the tool. The presentation is a visual aid, it's to help you, but it's not there to do all the work, so you shouldn't be stood staring at the screen, reading off the screen. So you have less text per slide. Any points, so it should be bullet points, so I would be on this one on the screen, I should be explaining what wired, wireless and dual means. Use animations to emphasise your points whilst you're explaining it, and it should follow some sort of structured order. I'd like to think that if you're doing a presentation, if it's a lesson or you're on stage, the audience should have been watching the whole thing, not just checking in now and again. So you need to follow on from each other. So that's your 2 types of presentation: how you set them up, how you use mouse click, how you use timings, and hopefully that's give you a bit better of an idea of how you want to set up your presentation, whether or not you want to be leading it yourself or you want it just to run in the background. And I'll see you in the next one.